I think I grew and learned more on this furniture flip than I ever have before. So I hope to share that knowledge with you guys and moving forward with your furniture flips that you guys will be able to use um, unique items and hopefully get into some power tools and be able to customize your furniture in really unique ways. I started with this, crusty nightstand pair. Obviously, they need a lot of work and the top was shot. So I've seen where people on YouTube and stuff have done these boho southwestern art pieces, and they're really beautiful and inspired me a lot. The template that I went with was 22 centimeters, and my husband was so handy. I kept trying to cut these stir sticks and they were like splintering and flying everywhere. My husband was like, "Oh, wrap it with um, blue, masking tape." And that really did the trick. So if you learn anything from this video, it's that you can wrap things with painter's tape and it keeps it from splintering. It also was really handy when I cut things to have it all, stuck together to carry inside since there's like, a stack of 10 of them. Um, these are a 45-degree angle. That is the only angle I cut in this video for this project are 45-degree angles. And this is going to be a parallel cut. So, you'll see that little pointy edge, and then I have to kind of figure things out here. And I'll cut it parallel with the cut that I already have. So these are the sticks that I use. Now, people do all sorts of designs with these, and if you want to get creative, I just was trying to get through the project, and I was already learning so much that I didn't want to overcomplicate things for myself or for my viewers. So I just stuck with the one 22-inch cut, except for when you get, towards the edges and stuff, you will have to cut things off, and we'll get to that in a second and the tool that I use to cut things off. I did use a poster board to do this, and I did it inside, but actually when I go to do the next nightstand, I'm going to just do it right on the nightstand and not mess with doing the poster board thing. That was just like an unnecessary step. It did make it easier to work inside, and I could sit down while I did it, so if that's important to you. But I felt like it just made the project go on a little longer than it needed to. So measuring the half from the side and from the top to the bottom, halfway point there. I'm really excited that I have this in my tool belt now, because dressers like this, which are made of it was funny because this dresser actually is solid wood on the base, but the top was this particle board stuff. So just such a great way to update the top and make it stand out. I think I'll be able to sell it for more as well. I'll post that in the description too. Once I get this pair of nightstands done and sold, I'll post what I was able to sell them for here in Atlanta, Georgia. All the tutorials that I watched, and there are a bunch of them if you want to go and watch them, said to start with the X in the middle. That was the most important. That's like your center, and you want to, that's like your home base. And so I got that stuck down, and this stuff doesn't dry very fast, which works great for this project because you do need to finagle things and move things around a little bit. Like I said earlier, it's just that one cut with that one measurement. Now, some of them you're going to see look a little smaller, and that's just because as I was learning things, I was cutting things wrong and stuff. So I actually had some smaller pieces, and but you don't have to cut anything smaller until it's time for the edge. And I'm going to show you how to use a really easy, cheap $20 tool to cut around the edges. I'm going to show you guys how to cut those edges off and then how to put a nice little trim around it here in a second. But while that's drying, I decided to prime the little nightstand. Of course, I cleaned it with Simple Green and did a 5-minute scuff sand. And then I cleaned everything off with a tack cloth first. I'm in love with applying things with this roller sideways. And I did that in my last video for a clear coat, and you guys all really liked it. But it works great for applying paint and primer too. I mean, it goes on super fast. So You can pick up those little foam rollers for so cheap and reuse them. And I feel like the finish is smoother than with a brush. I'm using Behr Premium Plus, and I did an interior satin or semi-gloss finish. Either one of those is fine. Then this is the cool tool. My husband was like, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to cut those little rinky-dink pieces of wood with a saw. So I went and bought this tool. It was $20 at Walmart, and it is the coolest little thing ever. He actually told me that this is the tool that he uses, and we actually had one, but we couldn't find it because it had been so long since we'd used it. So I went and bought another one. But he told me that he uses this tool because sometimes I'll have him build a little leg under saggy dressers. You know, those dressers that kind of have like a sway back. And so this is the tool he uses to like make those legs, I guess. And maybe I'll do a video on that in the future. But yeah, this worked really great. I had to use that wood block so I didn't like, chop off a finger or something crazy. And you should be using earmuffs or headphones or something because it is super loud. Then I found this trim at Home Depot. It was like $1.75 a foot. And this trim is the coolest because it has that, L shape. And so it just goes around the edge so nicely. And I'm going to do the same cut that the only cut that I know how to do on a miter saw, guys, is a 45-degree angle. You guys are really watching someone who does not know how to use power tools use power tools. So if you're brand new and you're wondering what it's going to look like when you attempt this is exactly what it's going to look like. I definitely had a few, too long, too short cuts, and I had to, learn along the way that things are not just naturally the same measurement on one side as they are the other. So you have to measure each individual side of your dresser or nightstand. And yeah, I'm not using any nails. I'm just using my liquid nails. We'll see if that, is durable enough. My husband said it would be, and that he was worried if we did try to do like an air nailer in that it might split some of the wood. So, I'll go back into the description here and update anything that we add or that I add as time goes on. But for now, the liquid nails seem to really do the trick. This stuff is very strong. Obviously, they call it liquid nails. My little edge pieces, the tiny little triangles, ended up being the ones that would like always pop off. And so I would have to like re-glue them. But luckily, we're putting this nice protective edge around it, and so those aren't going to pop off anymore. I had, the wood is not completely straight, so I would use paint cans, again, just to hold everything down while it dried. And I babysat it while it dried. I made sure that wood around the corners wasn't doing anything weird. So I'm using Varathane matte polycrylic. Honestly, guys, I like Minwax polycrylic better, but Home Depot is closer to my house, so I buy the Varathane brand most times instead of the Minwax brand. But if you have a Lowe's by your house, just buy the Minwax stuff. I actually like it a little better. But hey, this applies like butter with my little sponge technique. Guys, I don't think I'll ever go back. This is just the way I do things now. And I didn't even use a brush in this whole application process. Even the drawers around the edges, nothing. I just used the sponge applicator. And I actually bought some bigger sponges that I want to use in my next project. So I'm excited about that. And I bought this other little gimmicky handheld device that I thought I would give a try for one of my upcoming videos. That little dabbing technique is really a game changer. That along with applying things with the roller. So make sure you subscribe because I am hooking you guys up with all my secret weird little things that I use to make more money faster and flip things better and make things look better. So I'm using the same thing on the top. I'll do about 3 coats of that on the top. Here is the trashed little nightstands before. Ta-da! I learned so much on this project and I grew, and I've never been prouder of a flip than this little nightstand. And I'm looking forward to doing the other one to match, and I think I'll be able to do it even faster and better. I hope that you guys subscribe and that you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.